We have with us today in the studio Mr. David Roberts, Mr. Eli Hedges, the Ballina Bruiser, and Australia, New Zealand's own, from Sydney, but always from South Auckland, the biracial angel, Mr. Robert Whittaker. That's his new ring name. He asked us. He wants to change it. He wants to be called the biracial angel.
Dude, that intro confused me.
You are the biracial angel from now on.
No, I'm not.
You wanted to be. You said to me, Fab, can you introduce me as that, please?
I'm glad we're starting with the bullshit straight out of the gate.
How are you, Rob? How's things?
I'm great. I'm actually on top of the world, and you know why.
Why is that, mate?
Because yesterday I took the crown. I'm the king. You have to call me king. That was the bet.
No,
because I knocked you out. I knocked you out.
Okay, what's happened is this.
If you were still there, your character is still there on the floor, on the canvas, still there, drooling.
Okay, this is what's happened. So from now on, we're also going to be, like I said before, we're going into a different, we're going to start doing a segment, probably once a week or something like that on video games, and a video game review. We also want to start doing food reviews.
I like food.
We played the other day, yesterday we played, thanks to the guys from Spectre, we played virtual reality games. We played virtual reality boxing yesterday. The things weren't explained clearly to me. I dropped Rob.
We have
the world's going to see.
What? What's the world going to see?
What happened?
What happened?
I dropped you in the first, and then
You know what the difference is between a winner and a loser? The winner gets back up. I got back up and I fed you. I fed you well.
The guys were holding
you couldn't
me.
eat dinner last night. I fed you that much. I fed you that much. You were full.
People were holding me.
I fed you that much. You didn't need to eat today.
No.
You're still full.
People were fucking holding
Your
me.
character is still there.
They were holding me back. I dropped Rob. You should have seen it, Eli. Yeah, I dropped him. You would have been proud of Ballina PCYC in the late 90s.
It's boxing. It happens. I got back up. I got back up. It happens. I got back up and I fed you. And I fed you. I bashed you so much. I bashed you so bad in the game. You got a real concussion.
Nah.
You got a real concussion.
No.
We had to call in the stretcher.
Everyone knows
we had to call in the ambulance.
Everyone knows you.
I told you. I knew what you're going to do today. You're going to try and shit talk me out of the water, and I'm not allowing it. I'm not allowing it.
The world's going to see it.
The world will see it.
I dropped you, mate.
No, yeah, you did.
I fucking dropped you bad.
But I got back up.
Dude, if we were on a desert island, you'd be dead.
You didn't. You didn't get back up. You didn't get back up.
You'd be dead.
I would have
pulled your teeth out.
That last round, did you get back up? Did you get back up?
There were people holding me, dude.
There wasn't.
There was people
no
holding
one was in the ring with you. You just giving me the game.
It was virtual
The game
reality.
could tell you had enough.
Me.
The game said, you know what, Fab, you've had enough. That's done. You need to sit this one out. You're done.
Look at them.
You're done.
Catch these things?
You're done.
It's like a club.
Hey, true or not, you also tried to spinning back assist me in the fight.
I hit you with a spinning elbow.
In a boxing match.
Man.
And I still won.
It is what it is.
And I still won.
Speaking of elbows, let's talk about the Dos Anjos and Edwards card.
That was a great card to watch. It was very exciting. Very exciting. I think even most of the fights were knockouts leading into it, into the main and co-main. But I think the co-main and main event were very interesting. Especially the main event. The main event was an interesting tactical fight.
What do you think? First, let's start off with the main card. Let's start off with Mr. Andrei Arlovski and Ben Rothwell. What do you think of that fight?
Rothwell's tough, isn't he? Gee whiz.
I thought he was going to get Arlovski out of there in the third.
Mate, it's just... One, I've never seen Arlovski move that much, ever. He was putting on a pace. I understand that's kind of how he fights, because I remember when he fought Bam Bam, that's kind of how he fought-ish. But it just looked like more of a pace. But these two guys were just heavy hitters. They were just heavy hitters, and you can hear the leather land when they're striking and bashing each other. No one can say Rothwell's not tough, but he took massive cracker shots.
What's it like from your perspective? I don't know if maybe you have, you haven't, whatever. But what's it like? Because people are watching. Sometimes people from home, they're watching, and they see Rothwell hurt Arlovski in the third. A couple of times he kind of had him wobbled. And, even myself, because I wasn't not going for Arlovski. I was just in the moment. And I was like, get him. But you could tell there was nothing left in the gas tank with either guy. What's that like in a fight? With the lactic acid build up and whatnot?
Yeah.
Or have you ever been like that?
I've definitely... It's hard to say because fights, they're hard to remember. But there's a level of fatigue when in a fight. And it's hard to simulate otherwise, but there's a level of fatigue when you've given everything you have, and the guy's still coming forward, or you're still in the fight and you need to dig that little bit deeper, and you have nothing left in the tank. People don't realize that when you hit that point, when you hit when you cross that line of fatigue, and when you're proper gassed, you honestly don't care about defending yourself. You can't defend yourself. Like, the only thing you're concentrating on is staying standing. The only thing you're concentrating on is taking your next breath. And
can you prepare for that?
You can try to simulate it. So one, you can build your cardio systems and your muscle systems before you get to that point. So that line that you cross into gassed and not gassed is further away. As well as you can try to simulate as much as you can before the fight in training, getting to those levels, and like working out of them, or your work getting to those levels, so that those levels get further away, so that you can start to recover. You'd be better to speak about this because you have formulated like little things for me that help me with my training.
Yeah, but being in there, like, is it fair to say that in a close fight, like both your fights with Romero, your fight with Court McGee, where went back and forwards, you fight with Brad Scott when you first fight in the UFC, where it goes all the way to the way and you're fighting him real hard, like, it's almost like no matter what you did, it's always like, no matter how fit you were going into it, you'd still feel like you were fitter for the Romero 2 fight than you were for the Court McGee fight, but you still felt the same kind of fatigue. Is that accurate or not? Because I don't know what you feel.
Romero 2, I didn't feel the same sort of fatigue as Romero 1. I was fatigued, but I was more fatigued in Romero 1. That fifth, that was hard. That was hard. That fifth round in Romero 1, that was very tiring. Court McGee, different sort of feeling. I was gassed, and I was doing everything I could just to keep him off me, but he was still walking forward. It's hard.
Can you explain the differences in that type of fatigue?
I guess for the Court McGee fight, there's the physical fatigue that I had, but there's also the mental fatigue, because I was gassed. I was past that line and I was trying to keep him off me, but he was still going forward. So mentally, that's draining for me. Whereas with the Romero fight, we were both gassed, and I had confidence that he was more gassed. So I could dig that little bit deeper, and that's definitely a mental process more than anything else.
There's a thing as well. I see it with people. They get caught in a position where, correct me if I'm wrong, you can both be the same level of fitness, but you're dictating the pace and I start to gas. And if I can't hurt you, like what you said earlier, I can't hurt you, I can't keep you off me, and you're picking me off with good shots, I'm on a gas.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what happened with Court McGee?
Yeah, like dictating the pace and dictating the rhythm of the fight is huge with it's huge with your cardio systems and controlling your output and input of a fight, because it's like going for a cruisy jog. You can control the pace you're going at. You get to that comfortable spot where you've done this before, and you get into a rhythm. You don't really feel it. And then you mix it up. You say you run on sand instead. You don't have a rhythm there. You're not used to it. You gas much faster, much harder, because it's uncomfortable. You don't know when you can push. You don't know when.
And if you throw a sprint in there as well.
Yeah. And if you start throwing sprints, or even worse, if someone like Fabricio Iter, who's with you and says, run hard now or not, or run hard now, slow, run hard now, like, you're not even controlling the pace anymore. You can't prepare yourself. Your body can't get used to it. And that's what I think controlling the pace and dictating the rhythm is the best way described. It's like that. It's finding your comfortable places, finding your comfortable spots, understanding when you can rest, when you can take deep breaths. Yeah.
And a lot of that, then the ability to dictate the fighters all must come from experience as well and whatnot.
Yeah, it's huge. It's primarily experience. You see that a lot.
That's one of the things I see that your opponent, your future opponent, Israel, he does very well in that he controls the pace. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I really like that he does is when he hurts someone, he picks a shot and he just keeps the pressure, which you do as well. Like, you had Jacare hurt, but you didn't. A lot of people might have jumped on him and he might have grabbed him and both of you do that quite well. I think that's going to be quite an interesting. because both are very cerebral strikers. So I see that as well. Sometimes people hit someone and they hurt them and they go nuts.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. And you've seen that time and again, like Maynard versus Edgar.
In saying that though, there's also on the flip side people who should go nuts
and they don't. Yeah, that's true as well.
Yeah,
and you have to know how to when to pick it.
Yeah, and that can only come from experience.
All right. You're good with the decision with Arlovski and Rothwell?
It is what it is. Yeah, I'm always for like the decision. Like in my opinion, like the decision is always the decision. It's like